Yo guys, what is up and welcome back to the channel. It is JRob here with Team Energy Golf Clash, bringing you yet again another tournament guide and walkthrough video here to go over today. We have Juniper Point here, and some of you may have noticed we are jumping down to cover some rookie content. Some of the guys and girls on the team here, the Team Energy family, they were struggling with the last couple tournaments here, so I decided to kind of take control a little bit and jump down to help them out with some of the rookie tournaments so that they could get a better handle on things here within the next few weeks, hopefully. But we got a lot coming here for Golf Clash. It's going to be a fun and interesting week here, in my opinion. They've done another partnership here between the PGA and Golf Clash, which is going to be bringing us Bryson DeChambeau's 9-hole cup, and then after that we are going to be having the playoff tournament, which is going to be Glen Monarch Estates. So it should be very interesting. Glen Monarch Estates is a very awesome course, a lot of great opportunities, especially on some of the par 4s and par 5s, but just a really fun course in general. A lot of nifty par 3s, just a neat course. So while we're here, guys, make sure you guys like that video before we get started. Click that notification bell so you guys get notified, and let's jump on into Juniper Point, hole number 1, par 4. Alright guys, welcome to the guide. We've got Juniper Point, hole number 1, par 4 here from the first tee box. So for hole number 1 here, we are going to have to play this pretty aggressive. Now I do have an extra mile 8 here on the clip, but we are going to have various different accounts here played in with this rookie guide. So there are going to be various different types of clubs, and I was trying to keep that in mind here for all of the players out there, because I definitely know that not all of us are working with the same type of clubs here. So keeping that in mind, we're going to be trying to play this one of two different ways. So we're making the most aggressive approach here that we can, and we do have a headwind here on this approach, but we're still going to be trying to drive the green essentially here. Now I did get lucky here. We made a really nice shot there. We just about 6 bars of topspin is what we used, with 2 bars of left hand side spin and full curl there on the extra mile level 8 to the left, and I believe that's around 50% curl or so there to the left, so around a ball and a half or so. But essentially the goal there is to get over the ravine onto the second fairway there, so we can either make a nice little short iron shot right outside of the fringe at around mid distance with 0% elevation, or putter in there for an eagle. Moving right along here, guys, that's going to bring us on over to the very first of the par 3s that we have here from the front tee box. We're going to be playing this here with our long iron. So you're going to see a couple people play this, few different ways with various spin adjustments. But what I have found that works best for me is using the long iron that has a decent amount of backspin. I would say anywhere from like 4.5 bars of backspin to around 5.5, 6. What the Goliath has here at level 7, or maxed out here with the Goliath. So what we're going to be essentially trying to do here is use the top of that funnel for that last little bit of our ball to break and catch that funnel, and it's going to come right down in towards the pin and drop. Now, there is a particular spot that we're going to be looking for to line up our shot here. Now, off the tee box, we're going to be playing this here at mid-distance plus 10%, more than likely with our Goliath. But if you guys are playing with the Grizzly, you may be at about max distance, because the distances aren't identical. But what we're looking for here is there is a line between the light green and the dark green squares. There is a line that goes straight up the hill right through the center of the pin. Now there's a row right before that, and there's that row is where we're going to want the very end of our ball guide to be. With full backspin, we're going to want to hit off of the fairway, hit that our ball to break and stop right at about that line before the line that goes straight up through the pin, so that our ball has that little bit of time to break and push forward and come down and roll. And that is exactly why I'm missing just over the pin instead of dropping that ball there. So I hope that does help you guys. I hope that makes sense and gives you guys a good idea where to line up your ball. If you're working with a little bit less backspin, just move your target a little bit further back. Working our way over to the very first of the par 5s that we have here at hole number 3. This one may be a trickier one for some of you, and you are going to see this possibly played one of two different ways off the drive. Now, depending on whatever distance you are really working with and how much curl you have on your club, you may want to even try playing this on the right hand side through the trees. Yes, you can bounce it through those trees right there on the right hand side, right over the bush and down the fairway, but you are going to have to make sure that you do hit a perfect ball. But what I would recommend here is playing this with a side spin 3 ball, and you can get over there without using a little bit of overpower or anything, but you are going to have to worry about going into that rough patch right there, and that is one of the reasons why I wanted to show you guys that clip there from my opponent, because I'm going to do the exact same thing here. We're going to play this same way, max distance plus 10% in elevation. We have a nice little tailwind here. It's definitely going to help us out. If we do have a headwind on this, we're still going to play this essentially the same way, but we're trying to get on this left-hand side. And if we do have a headwind where we just have to lay up on the left-hand side where those trees are, we can play it with a wood club, and we can bounce off of at the end of this fairway, and we can bounce over and down to the green. So don't count yourself out. Just make a nice shot here on the fairway. But what we're going to do there is use full overpower with the tailwind, and we're going to use full curl there to the right. Make sure you guys do use as much curl there as you do have. You can get away without using full curl, but if you're around like 35, 40 stat, that's probably going to be pushing it about right there. If you have less than that, you're probably not going to be able to get around. I would just lay up on the left-hand side or try to go through the trees. If you can get around there and use that curl and topspin, we're going to try to get around the side of this fairway so that we can make a nice straightforward shot down here, either with our long iron, or if you're a little bit further up there like I am here in the clip, you may even be using your short iron. And it's going to be a really, really great albatross opportunity here, guys, if you can get further up there like we are here in the clip. But I did want to show you guys here that where my opponent was at, because if you guys are able to, kind of get around where that rough patch kind of cuts back in, you are going to be in pretty decent shape for a good long iron shot straight in at the pin. We're looking to play it with about 2 bars of backspin, roughly about 2.5 squares shy of where the pin is, so we still have that room for our ball guide to roll with that 2 bars of backspin. We know it's going to hit it that little bit, it's going to stop it, but it's still going to roll a decent little bit. But on this second shot, we are going to have to keep in mind that we are playing it with a little bit of elevation, because the green does lie lower than where the fairway sits, a little bit further back. So definitely don't count that out. Keep that in mind, right tucked in the back of your head, so you guys remember to make a good adjustment here, because it could save you from making a good albatross opportunity here, or just missing like I did. I figured we were just close up there a little bit. I wasn't sure how it was going to play here with the short iron, so I went with just a little 0%, a little 5% adjustment or so, 0%, and just a little bit off there. We were very, very close. Just came in just a little off there on the adjustment, and we just came in there on the right hand side, just spinning around the cup. So that would have been a great albatross there to drop, and if we hit that hole in one on hole 2, we're going to be in really great shape, because we eagled hole 1. So already some really great strokes that we could possibly be snagging here, and if you guys manage to drop them, you're going to be in good shape for this tournament. Let's go. So I just want to say as well that if you do have to bounce over and lay up on that side, we're probably going to play it with about 2 bars of topspin or so. Okay, moving on over to hole number 4, we got the second of the par 3s we're going to tackle here today, and depending on whatever ball that we pick for this hole is going to determine whichever scenario here that we go with, because this can be played one of 2 different ways. There is a slick little rough bump here that people do use. It's a little bit tougher in here in rookie division. I really wouldn't recommend it. So what we're going to be doing here is playing this off of the island with our sniper or our long iron here. Now, depending on what balls you have to work with, like we mentioned here, you're going to play that and make your choice with one of those two different options. In my opinion, I really like using the sniper here. The Viper would be a good option if you guys aren't using that, or you guys have that to work with. The Guardian is also a great option to potentially use here. You could use full backspin on the Guardian and just right up on the green with your club and just use full backspin to try to make it go up, back, and around and come right back in towards the pin. Could be an option. But if you're using your long iron, as you guys can see here, you're going to be playing that with a lot less left-hand side spin than you're going to be with the sniper there. So with our long iron, it's going to be 2 bars of backspin and just a little bit of left-hand side spin there. And with our sniper here, we're going to be playing this with 3.75 bars of backspin and 1 bar of left-hand side spin. Now there's a little sweet spot there in the middle of the island on that right-hand side fairway, and it's going to shoot you right in straight towards the pin, and that's going to be our ideal shot there, as we just missed that left edge there, very, very close at almost snagging another stroke there. So we have some really great opportunities. This is going to be a fun course. Juniper Point is going to be one of those courses where you can really land quite a few shots. So don't forget your elevation there at a minimum or max distance plus 10% elevation, and you guys should be just fine there at potentially snagging yourself an extra stroke. So good luck with that one, guys, and we're going to move on over to hole number 5 and tackle another long par 5. Okay, so moving on to hole number 5, par 5 here. Like we said, we're also going to have another long par 5. So, one of two different options here. Depending on really what clubs you're working with, you can play this one in two different ways. Now, the left-hand side here, we really don't need a whole lot of topspin. You could play it with, 2-3 bars of topspin, 4 bars of topspin, I would say max, because we don't want to go too far down on this little island, end up in the rough or something. It's going to put us in a bad spot for sure. So we're going to try to play that safe for sure if we're going left-hand side. More than likely, you're going to play it with like a bar, 2 bars of left-hand side spin to kind of cheat you down that fairway, and then looking to play it with 10% in elevation, bouncing over. And then we also have the right-hand side option here as well, which you're going to see me play. So the only thing that I would really recommend here is really paying attention to the very end of the fairway and making sure that you definitely know where you're at and where you're going to hit, and making a good adjustment, because we are going to be pretty close to the end of the fairway using a power 3 ball. So if you do have a tailwind, definitely make sure that you don't push your target all the way out into max. And if you are using a berserker ball and we do have a tailwind and you want to use a power 5, you may be able to use the tailwind in that power 5 ball to reach that second fairway. And then we can get even further down there and have a really great opportunity at a long iron or a short iron, even right in at the pin. Now, that's going to be a scenario that's going to be dependent on the wind, but the left hand side, what we're going to be working with there is a sniper shot, essentially with a wood club or your sniper straight in at the pin here. We're going to be trying to play it with like a bar, 2 bars of backspin straight in at the pin, trying to get that ball guide to really extend out and ride in towards the pin. We want to leave it just that little bit shy if we have a tailwind, because we know it's going to carry and our ball is going to continue to roll. So we're going to come in a little hot. But if we do have that headwind, we're going to want to make sure that we put our ball guide, just that little bit through the pin. So coming here from the right hand side, depending on where we're at, you could be a little bit further back. You may end up using your sniper here or your wood club. You may use the Guardian, but either way, you might be working with like a 4 bars backspin, 2 bars right hand side spin, like sniper shot. I've made that shot personally quite a few times. That's why I'm recommending it. But here I was kind of mixed up on clubs. We couldn't really do that. So what I would recommend doing here is pushing it up to about max distance, kind of trying to judge where how much your ball is going to roll after the end of your ball guide, and using that backspin to kind of judge that. 2 bars of backspin is usually about a good sweet spot for where your ball might roll like 2.5, 3 more squares. Because like you see that, like my ball just rolled up just about 3 squares there after like it kind of hit where the end of my ball guide, where you would have seen the very end of my ball guide. So just essentially make a good shot there. We're going to be playing that second shot there at mid, min, or max. You're going to have to really check your club distance. So plus 10% in elevation, both shots there. Moving right along, that's going to bring us on over to hole number 6, par 4 here. And this is going to be played one of 2 different ways as well. Now, I'm going to be playing this a little bit unorthodox here than a lot of you guys may be used to. Some of you guys may not be comfortable playing it this way, but it is a very great opportunity, and a lot of people really sleep on this right-hand side and playing it down this right-hand lane here, because a lot of people just really like and see the left-hand lane as really the only way to play it. But this right-hand side, especially when we do have some tailwind options, can be a really great angle to essentially get right up to the very edge of the fairway, really close to that bunker, so you can just chip it right over that bunker and make a nice chip right over the bunker, essentially right outside of the fringe, for an eagle here on another par 4. So it's a great opportunity here. A couple bars of left hand side spin, full top spin, essentially getting it as far down that little fairway there on the right as we can. Now, that's going to set us up for either one, a little short iron shot there for a little bit further back, or we're still going to end up with a wedge. And that's just going to be a little, nice and easy cake shot right over the bunker. And I wanted to show this clip here off the tee box. We are going to be playing this here 0% elevation. But I wanted to show this shot here that just to show you, how everybody kind of assumes that the left-hand lane is really, the only way to go. And a lot of people try to fight and curl themselves around that tree line to get over there when they have a bad wind angle or something, that they know it's going to be a hard shot. I'm definitely guilty of it because I know I've done it myself. So if you can and you have a nice angle there to work with on the right-hand side, there is a sweet spot where you can find, a little bit further up where you're not going to hit the branches, but using about 2 to 3 bars of left-hand side spin right off the bat and applying your top spin is going to definitely help you find the location that you're looking for, so the branches and the trees or whatever really aren't bothering you. They're not in your way. So we're going to make a nice shot there with the wedge, straight up and over, no spin, straight at the pin, 0% elevation, dropping another eagle. Alright guys, that's going to bring us on over to hole number 7 now, the last of the par 3s that we have here today, and this may be the trickiest of the par 3s here for a lot of you. Now if we do have the sniper here, we're really going to try to want to, use the sniper as much as we can. If not, I want you guys to try to, take your sniper and replace it with the Viper, and try to essentially replicate all of the shots with the spin adjustments that we're telling you, because the sniper and the Viper are the two essentially at the beginning levels that are going to be the most identical to each other, that are going to be easier for you to work with. Now the Viper is going to have a lot different accuracy, because I believe it has like 56 accuracy or something at max, I believe. Don't quote me on that. But you're going to be essentially using around the same spin adjustments essentially with your wood club, and you'll have around the same distance. You just won't have the ball guide. So what we're looking to do here is play this shot here at mid distance plus 10% in elevation. Now what we're really doing is trying to just use the very base of this fairway. When you start to get that high arc bounce, if you pull your ball guide down, and if you move it around and you're trying to find the location, and you pull your ball guide down, it's going to flatten out, and it's going to give you like it's going to almost look the exact slope that the hill is. But if you push your ball guide just a little bit further up, you're going to get to that point where it just starts to arc a little bit higher. Now, once you hit that point, you know you're right where you want to be. Now use your 1 1/4 bar of topspin, no left-hand side spin, no right-hand side spin. Use that spot to get your ball straight through the pin, nail your location, hit that perfect ball, and you know that you found your right spot as soon as you've hit that high arced bounce location, because that's what we're looking for. Could be another great opportunity at a hole-in-one here, guys, so good luck. Alright guys, second to last hole here with hole number 8, another par 4 here. Just like hole number 1, we're going to be playing this one very aggressively here on the left hand side, if at all possible. Now I know that we're not all working with the same clubs, so if you guys are using a little bit lower level clubs, you know, and we can't really take this approach. Some of you guys may be, you know, crossed out on this particular approach in a headwind, but with an extra mile 8 here, we definitely can take advantage of still playing this left-hand opportunity here with a power 3 ball. Now, what we're going to be doing if we can't do that is play as far down on the right-hand side as we possibly can. But for now, I want to explain this left-hand side, because what we're going to be doing here is aiming off of that front fairway, bouncing off of the second one, and then onto that third patch, rolling right out of the rough, and hopefully getting right around that fringe and green area right by the pin. So if we can't, we're going to play the right hand side here, and like I said, we're going to try to get as far down there as we possibly can using a little bit of left hand side spin, a little bit of curl, and full top spin. What my opponent does wrong here trying to play the left hand side is he judges his elevation and his shot wrong, and he does hit, you know, doesn't hit a perfect ball obviously either. So glitches out like crazy there for a second, comes back into the game, and he decides to go with a little bit of overpower, and even though he has even more topspin than I do, he wasn't able to get all the way down towards the pin because he double bounced incorrectly, made his adjustment wrong, and he went into the bunker. So that's what I'm talking about there. If you can get down there and just get into the bunker even, you may find that better than even playing the right hand side even, because you know a really nice short sand wedge chip like that, or you know out of the rough, may be easier for you than trying to nail, you know, a long iron or a short iron shot down the right hand side over if you know you can't get really far down on that right hand side. But if you can, should be a nice wedge chip right across. Either way, good hole for an eagle. Alright guys, we're going to polish it up here with hole number 9, par 5 here for Juniper Point. So, this one here is going to be a little bit of a trickier one for some of you guys out there, but definitely one that I know that we can have a lot of you guys land out there with the clubs. You know, if you guys have the clubs to potentially perform this shot that I'm going to show you, a lot of you will have a really great opportunity at least at potentially landing the albatross, because it's one of the only ways to actually land the albatross on this hole, unless you get really lucky with maybe one of the other options that we're going to show you. But if you're happy with just, you know, grabbing the eagle on this hole, and you've done really well on the other holes, then you may just want to play this one a little bit more conservative and make sure that you snag that eagle. You want to finish strong though. You want to make sure you grab a sweet albatross here on hole number 9. This is the way you're going to play it. Now, we're going to show you what you don't want to do. I'm going to show you exactly where you want to line it up. We want to be right there, almost where like our yellow ring is touching the bunker line, but we want to be forward. We want to be about a ring forward from where I'm at. There's going to be another funnel line that you will catch, and you'll see what I mean. But we're a little bit further back, and I over adjusted this. I played this at 15 to 20% elevation there, and we needed to play that at just regular mid to max distance plus 10%. Now I'm saying mid to max because you may use a kingmaker ball or a power 4 ball, and depending on how much room you have to work with, or whatever really you want to, you may be using the rock or the quarterback as your driver. I don't know, but whatever ball that you're working with, you're gonna either be at either mid or max distance. More than likely max distance, but we definitely need to play that with at least a plus 10% in elevation. If you find yourself missing just that slight little bit, you might want to change it up just a little bit. Now, For some of you guys out there, you may not like this particular approach, and we will give you a couple alternative approaches that you could use here for the second shot. But for our drive distance, we're looking for around 330 yards there. We're just going to be playing that 0 spin. As far as top and back spin, we're not using any. We're just letting it flow. We're going to be playing that with 2 bars of left-hand side spin, though, just trying to get it over that gap and onto the plateau. 330, like we said, and you may end up playing this with the Guardian. Right there is about the location that we wanted, back right before the fairway. You want to put like where your red ring is about touching the fringe line. That's where we wanted to be. I pushed my target a little bit further up. I thought it was gonna, maybe I'd get a lucky bounce there, and it was gonna ricochet a little bit more than I was hoping for, and we didn't really get the lucky bounce. So we ended up bouncing right onto the green instead of hitting the fringe, and we ended up on the other side of the fringe. So no big deal, but if we want to hit that backstop and really kick us down and funnel towards the pin, we're going to have to hit that backstop more on the left-hand side and funnel us down to the right. It's a pretty difficult, kind of complicated shot, but it definitely is manageable to land it. More than likely, you're going to play it down that fairway on the left-hand side and kind of curl it around to the right, and you're going to be trying to bounce it in there somehow. Or you could just try and roll it around, the whole funnel there, which is a little more difficult to get your speed right. But if we're trying to nail this albatross here, what we're going to be doing, like we said, is pushing that target up about 1.5 rings from that bunker and using full backspin on our sniper level 10 and 3 bars of left-hand side spin. You'll know that you're in and around about the right location when you can see your ball guide to start funnel down like that. But as you guys can see, that shot actually replicated there. You can see how close you could potentially get at actually landing that for the albatross. Now, it's one of those shots that, you're going to have to probably mess around with it maybe a couple times in practice, maybe spend a couple tokens on it. Wouldn't be a bad idea, to potentially try to land that on hole number 9 or something. You're playing a really great game, but it is all personal preference. So I definitely hope that the guide helps you guys. Hope that helps you, potentially even land the albatross there on hole number 9. I've heard quite a bit of teammates and other people say that they weren't even aware that that shot was capable. That they knew the rough bump was there on the right hand side. Never really thought of going that route. So I hope that we opened up your mind a little bit to maybe some different shots and adjustments that you maybe hadn't thought of or tried before, and I hope that the guide helps you. If you guys would like to see us do some more rookie content down here in the rookie division, I definitely would be open to doing that. It's no problem. I just want to be able to do my best in what everybody else is most comfortable with, and what everybody's really I want to help the most people. So what everybody is as far as the average tournament that you guys are going to be playing, whether that's pro or rookie or expert, the majority of the people out there that are watching my content, if you guys could comment, let me know what division you guys are playing in. If you guys, I know a lot of the people that are watching the video this week will probably be a lot of rookie viewers, but I hope that you guys are maybe interested in bumping up into the pro and expert divisions here in the future, and I hope that maybe I can help you along with that. So if you guys are looking for some more Golf Clash content, you guys can hop over to our Patreon page. I'm uploading tons of Golf Clash content on there when I get the chance. So if you guys are looking to help support our content and our work, it would be greatly appreciated. You guys can do that in the links down in the description below. We've got tons of groups and pages that we would love to have you guys on to follow us and what we're doing. I got a lot of stuff coming behind the scenes and other things that I have been working on, and that's why I haven't been posting as much, but we are going to be getting back into the Golf Clash content here pretty heavy, and I am working on quite a few different things that I'm very, very excited to share with you guys. So I hope that maybe you guys will be interested in that too. So that's going to be the end of the video, guys. I really appreciate you guys being here. I hope this helped you. Please leave a like on the video if I did help, and hit that notification bell if you guys are here. Subscribe to the channel. Make sure you get notified when we do post videos and stuff. And yeah, I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.